Hi guys, Kevin here. Hope you're doing well. Please forgive my disheveled appearance. I'm a mess because I am making naan. Naan, that's N-A-A-N, is an ancient Central Asian flatbread with a wonderfully weedy taste and a crisp but chewy texture. I like to form the dough into these long snowshoe shapes and then serve them with dinner or as an appetizer at parties. They're also fabulous for naan pizza. To start, take 2 cups of water and 1 cup of milk and heat them to about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I heated mine in the microwave. And we're going to pour this into a large bowl. Then we're going to sprinkle 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast over the top. Then we sprinkle 1 tablespoon of salt on top of the yeast. And then add 2 cups of all-purpose or plain flour. And we're going to stir this in one direction only, just until it's combined. Then, a 1/2 cup at a time, keep adding more flour. And we'll end up using, 5 to 6 cups of flour. And we keep stirring in the same direction until we can stir no more. In other words, when this dough becomes too stiff to stir. I'm on my 5th, or maybe it's my 5th and a half cup of flour. I lost track. And as you can see, the dough is becoming really stiff. So I think that's all the flour I will add. Yeah, this is the consistency you want, and you're going to get a really good workout stirring this dough. Okay, now it's time to knead the dough, and I'm going to knead mine on this marble board. And I've just generously dusted it with flour. So on goes this super sticky naan dough. Out you go. It's ooey gooey. There we are. Get all of that off. And then I'm going to add a little flour on top. And we're going to knead this by hand. And when you knead, first gather the dough into a rough ball and then flatten it out, fold it in half, and push. Fold, push. So we flatten, roll over the top, and then press it out with the heel of the hand. And make sure you're wearing a black cashmere sweater while you do this. I'm going to add a little more flour. And keep kneading. And we have to knead this dough until it becomes smooth and elastic. And that will take about 10 minutes of kneading time. So I will come back. Okay, my bread, or rather my dough, after about, I guess it's been about 9 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, is now pretty darn smooth and elastic. And it's much less sticky. So I'm going to wash out the mixing bowl and I'll come right back. Yeah, I did not see any need to dirty another bowl, so I washed out the original mixing bowl, and now I'm lightly greasing it with a little olive oil. Actually, I think I put too much olive oil in here. I'm going to remove some of it. And then scoop up the dough, put it in the bowl, flip the dough so that the other side is slick with oil. and then cover the bowl with either a towel or a sheet of plastic wrap. And then we have to set this someplace warm until it doubles in volume. And that will take, 90 minutes to 2 hours. And you'll be glad to know this dough requires only one rise. I'll be back. Oh, I forgot to tell you that about 1 hour before your bread has doubled in volume, line the center rack of your oven with either a pizza stone or some unglazed quarry tiles. And I bought these tiles, I think at Loaves several years ago. I think they were like 30 cents each. Anyway, I use them all the time. They're wonderful. And the idea with either the pizza stone or the quarry tiles is that you want a really hot surface on which to bake the naan. And again, heat the oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Alrighty, my dough has certainly doubled in volume. And now I'm going to deflate it. Pow. And then dump it onto my floured board. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful dough. Get all of it out of there. And then we're going to form the dough into a rough rectangle because we're about ready to form the naan. And then we're going to cut this rectangle in half. And we're going to transfer half. Oops, we got to cut it a little better. Going to transfer half of this dough to another board like this and cover it with a sheet of plastic wrap and set it aside for a moment. And then with this remaining half, or with our first half, we're going to cut into 5 equal pieces. Wasn't that the name of the film? Or maybe that was five easy pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And we're going to put all but one of these pieces under plastic. So I'm just moving them to the other little board. Then, again, we're doing this on a floured surface. We're going to roll this into roughly an 8-inch long, 5-inch wide rectangle. I better add a little flour to this. Flip it over. Naan is actually very fun to make. And again, it's a fast bread because it requires only one rise. And yeah, this is exactly what we need. And then, this is the fun part. You want to roll up your sleeve. This is my muscular arm. And we drape the naan over the arm and let it elongate itself to about 12 inches. It's kind of like making pizza. And here we go. We've got about 12 inches here. And I'm going to stretch it out sideways a little bit. Then, at this point, you could sprinkle the dough with fresh or dried herbs or with sesame seeds. But since I'm going to use my naan for flatbread pizza, I'm going to skip the sesame seeds and the herbs and just proceed as follows. Dip your fingers into some water and then make little indentations all along the top. And then we're ready to bake this sucker. And we're going to let this bake for 6 to 8 minutes. Meanwhile, roll out and form the remaining naan and keep it under plastic wrap or a towel. Here's the naan baking on the quarry tile. I don't know if you can see, but it is puffing up right before our very eyes. And I'm going to let it turn spotty brown, and then I'll come back. Okay, our first loaf is ready. Snatch it with a towel. Have a look. There we go, spotty brown, and it smells terrific. Now, when you get comfortable with your naan making, you can actually bake 2 or even 3 loaves at a time. And here's something else you can do. Take a rimless baking sheet and put your naan on the sheet, and this way you can just slide the loaves directly onto your quarry tiles or your pizza stone. Whee! I wanted you to see these loaves. They puffed up almost like pita bread. Yum. Now, if you're not going to reserve your naan for naan pizza, you can and should brush the loaves with some melted butter as soon as it comes out of the oven. Or you can skip the butter, let the loaves cool, and then pop them in the freezer. They'll keep perfectly well frozen for about 3 months. And here's our naan, all baked and spotty brown, and about as appetizing can be. As you can see, I've already ripped off a piece. It was absolutely delicious. Now tomorrow, I'm planning to turn some of this naan into flatbread pizza. So I hope you'll join me then. And in the meantime, I hope you'll subscribe. There's a little subscribe button over here somewhere. And I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.